Hey guys, welcome back to our urban homestead. Welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome back to the channel. So it's been a very long time since I've been able to do a proper sourdough loaf. Why is that, you ask? Well, for almost 3 years, my ovens have not been working. I've been working with a little tiny toaster oven, which has served me well. I have made miracles work, okay? But thanks to our very special friends, we now have working ovens. And sourdough is one of my favorite breads. I do sourdough all year long, but I incorporate it into other things because I haven't been able to do a proper sourdough loaf. It's been a long time. I'm hoping it turns out because I'm a little rusty at it. So come along with me. It's gonna be a journey. We'll do it together. And if you're a beginner sourdough bread maker, hey, I feel like I'm right back there with you. I am on the beginner train once again because again, I haven't done a proper sourdough loaf in so long. I'm out of practice. We're gonna do it together. Let's go. So, this right here, I can leave it linked in the description. This is my sourdough home. It keeps dough lean, nice, and at appropriate temperature. I just fed Dolene a couple hours ago. As you can see, she is nice and active. She's ready to put in work, y'all. I can also leave this linked in the description. So, my Aunt Mitzi, y'all know her as Carmen Hood on the channel. She sent me this for Christmas. I bought one of these for myself and sent one to her as well. The combination of these two, like, listen, your sourdough game is gonna be completely elevated, okay? So, to get started, we're gonna add our starter. Come on in a little closer. So I know a lot of people do their sourdough in grams. Y'all listen. I'm not that fancy. I measure it. If you want to, by all means, go ahead and measure it with the scale. We're going to start with a 1/2 cup of active sourdough starter. Ooh, Dolene, you are smelling good, girl. Also, after you use your sourdough, it's important to feed it to keep that going, right? All right, so we're gonna do 1/2 cup of active bubbly starter. You can do as little as 1/4 cup, but we really like the flavor of sourdough, okay? And then I have 1.5 cups of warm water plus 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna add that. Let me give my hands a wash real quick, y'all. Okay, so then I'm going to whisk the starter and the water together. This is a Danish dough whisk. If you don't have one and you are a bread baker, I highly recommend it. You can find it in my Amazon storefront, but I will link it in the description below. And then I'm going to get 4.5 cups actually 5 cups, because I'm going to put half a cup into Dolene to feed her again. So I'll be back. So we're going to feed our starter before I add. So I typically do a half a cup of flour to a 1/4 cup of water. And it's gonna look super shaggy and thick, and you're gonna be like, no, that can't be right. Pardon me. It is right, okay? All right, so I've added the flour. See how thick that is? All right, now I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of water. And give it another mix. Again, I know some people are like super, well, regiment. Well, they're also kind of super judgy. Like, you know, there's sourdough police, there's canning police. It's, you know, you're gonna get judged no matter what the hell you do, in my opinion. So just do what works for you. That's all I can say. So for me, I like my sourdough starter, once I feed it, to look kind of like a biscuit dough, only not quite as thick. All right, let me scrape down these sides. And I like to feed it a little heavily because I don't know. I think that the fermentation process is a bit slower when you do it that way, and you get a nicer sour, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Pro tip: soak these in cold water. Don't use hot water, otherwise you're gonna clog your pipes and it's gonna be like cement. Okay, so don't do that. Put her bonnet back on, and today is Monday. Back in the sourdough home, Dolene goes. All right, so I've got four cups and 2 tablespoons of flour. I use all-purpose flour. Some people are strict bread flour only. I'm not buying a special flour. I use AP flour. I've never had an issue anytime I've made sourdough, anything. And it's gonna look a little rough and shaggy. That's all right. Now I know a lot of people would add salt at this stage. I don't. I wait until the flour has hydrated a little bit before I add my salt. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this with a damp is the key, damp tea towel. And I'm gonna cover this for about 30 minutes and I'll check back in with you. All right, so the 30 minutes for it to rest have passed. This is where we begin what's called the stretch and fold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking the corners, I am stretching and folding. And 4 turns. And see how that is hydrated now? All right, so I'm gonna cover it again with the damp tea towel. And I'm gonna do this every 30 minutes for about 2 hours. I apologize for the noise, but and then so I'm gonna turn this quarter turn and stretch and fold. And then after these last 2 stretch and folds, this is gonna go into what's called bulk fermentation, where I just leave this covered with a towel overnight, 8 to 12 hours. If you want to put it in the fridge, you would want to leave it for about 24 hours. If it's loud, y'all. All right, so that is that. We're gonna tuck this in for the night. And I'll see you in the morning. All right, it's the next morning. You want to make sure that you have a very well floured surface. I don't have a Banneton basket or a proofing basket, so I'm just using a bowl and sprinkling the inside of it with flour and kind of coating it on the sides. This will be for our second proof. You want your, so it does have a couple bubbles. It has doubled in size and has a couple nice bubbles, and that is exactly what we're looking for. I'm just gonna coax it out of here. And then what you want to do is take it, you can do this with your hand, it's just easier to do with a bench scraper. And I'm not the best at doing this, so let's start with our hands first. What we're doing is trying to create tension. And my hands are coolers are, oh, this is, I haven't had enough coffee for this. now I think I can use the bench scraper. Nope, bench scraper's sticky. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely not enough coffee. And again, I'm out of practice because I haven't done this in so long. So if you're, you know, I feel like I'm starting all over again on making a sourdough loaf. Oh, for crying out loud. This has gone completely wrong, you guys. What the heck? Well. Ugh. Never mind, do whatever. We're just gonna keep going with it. It'll be fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Oh, geez. Let's just do this by hand. How about that? Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. How not to make sourdough, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I ended up doing was just kind of shaping it by hand and fixing it. I got the smooth side down. This is going to go into the fridge. You can do it for 1 hour or up to 24. And since I have a lot going on today, I am sticking this in the fridge and we will bake it tomorrow. All right, so I forgot to film when I baked it. This is out of the oven now, but I am going to walk you through the steps on how I baked it. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees with a large Dutch oven in there. I pulled out the Dutch oven. I had this laying on a sheet of parchment paper. Obviously it wasn't baked. You put the dough in, lid on your Dutch oven. It baked for 20 minutes with the lid on, 30 minutes with the lid off, and then 5 minutes out of the Dutch oven on the rack. And I got to say, I'm pretty happy with how it looks considering, well, y'all seen the rest of the video. So I'm going to give this a cut. I'm dying to see what the crumb looks like. Nice and crusty. I really hope it's got a good crumb. We'll see. Ugh. Not as good as I had hoped for. I'm gonna cut a piece and have April give it a taste. Maybe. Yeah, I was really hoping it would have... Now, full disclosure, this did sit in the fridge for more than overnight. It was actually in there for a day and a half. So I was really hoping that the crumb, it would have more holes than it does, but it smells really good. I'm going to throw some butter on it, and I'll tell you what April has to say. So April said it was wonderful. I'm just not too thrilled on the crumb. I kind of want it to look like Swiss cheese a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give myself some grace. That lighting is not great. Sorry. I'm going to give myself some grace because I haven't made a loaf of sourdough in, well, as long as my old ovens hadn't worked. So we're going to try again. So you can basically say I'm on beginner level. If I can do it, you can do it. It tastes great. Looked pretty. Looked pretty as can be. I just wanted a little more whole action. Get your mind out the gutter. Anyways, friends, I hope you, if you're scared to try sourdough, it is not hard. You're still going to come out with a pretty loaf. It's still going to taste great. Still has all those wonderful gut benefits to your health. And let's go on this journey together, because I feel like I'm definitely brand spanking new because it's been so long. So we're going to do it again. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And until next time, my friends, abundance and blessings to you. Bye.